back everybody. I am Mohib, your trainer for this entire free Django series. You're watching me on Code with Mohib YouTube channel. Hope you have liked and subscribed to my channel and shared with your friends. Don't forget to leave comments below and let me know where you're watching this video from. Okay friends, in continuation of this free series, in this video I am teaching you how to create application in Django and how to install or add application to project. As in previous video we talked about the difference between application and project in Django, and I clearly mentioned that application is not project and project is not application in Django. Application is in fact part of Django project, and Django project is in fact holding or containing multiple applications. Hope you have watched my previous video in which I talked about creating project and the command and the methods that we can create project. That's the two methods I talked about. Virtual environment and globally, how to install Django in both virtual environment and globally, and we created project both in virtual environment and globally. So without wasting time, so let's get started. Creating a project. Let me write creating an application. In fact, a Django project contains one or more application, which means we create application inside project folder, as mentioned before, or I showed you earlier in the previous video that the project contains one or more applications. That a project contains one or more applications. Creating an application. To create an application, as I told you that Django project contains one or multiple applications. Now to create an application inside our project, we have to write python manage.py and start app. And then we write our application name here, application name. This is the command for creating a Django application, or we can say an application inside Django project. Make sure that first you have created your project, and then you have to be shifted inside the outer project folder where manage.py file exists. And then inside that folder, we run this command python manage.py start app, and do remember and make sure that you have written only app, not application. And if you remember in the previous video for creating project, we have written start project. That's complete spelling, project. But here for starting or creating an application, we write start app, not start application. And then we write the application name. If you remember from the previous video where I created an project that I called it uni project. Inside uni project we had an inner folder that is uni project and also manage.py. So first we come inside this outer project folder where our manage.py file exists. Manage.py file exists, and inside that we create our application. Because when we are running python manage.py exists inside this outer project folder here, manage.py. Once application is created, now we can install our application, or we can add our application inside our project. So for example, I create a project by the name of python manage.py the start app. I'll name this application as registration app. So what will happen in our project folder will be like, we will have, this is the uni project, outer project folder, and we have uni project, which is the inner project folder. That will be the inner project folder, and beside that we will have one other folder or one other directory that is our application, and the name will be registration application. And once the application is created, now we have to add or install our application inside our project. If you have watched the previous video where I showed you what files exist inside this inner project. One file, if you remember, I mentioned that one file there is by the name of settings.py. Now, once you created your application, then go to settings.py file. In that, you have to find a variable that is a list variable called install_apps. Inside install_apps, you can install or add your application. So this setting file is available at project level, which means we can install all applications of project. It is compulsory, otherwise won't be recognized by Django. It means the application won't be recognized by Django. So to do that, let's once open our settings.py file, and I'll show you where to install or add your application. Inside settings.py file, there is a variable called install_apps. This is a variable, and this is list. This is a list. Hope you have the basic knowledge on Python, what variables or data types we have in Python. So this is a list type. Inside this list type variable, we have pre-installed applications, and now inside this list, we can add or install our application. The application that we have created. The application name in our case is registration app. Therefore, I just write here the application file. Make sure that it is inside single quote. So registration app and single quote. So included inside single quote. The second important thing is here that if it is your last line of code or it is your last application, then you don't need to add a comma here. But if you have, in case you have another application as well and you want to install it here, therefore you must add a comma here. You must add a comma here. Then we write the second name and third and so on. As many applications we have, we can add them here. Then save the file and you can run the server to see that the application has been installed successfully. So this was all about theory of how to create an application and how to install or add application inside Django project. Now let's do it practically. First thing, in the last video we installed Django. Let me see if Django is installed or I have uninstalled that one. So CMD, I'll open CMD. So here I am on desktop, so you can see I can shift it to desktop. So CD desktop, I'm on desktop here. So here let me first check whether Django is installed or not. To know Django is installed or not, or to check whether Django is installed or not, we type Django -admin version, and we see that yes, Django is installed. Now inside desktop or on desktop we create our project folder. So I'll create how Django -admin start project, and I call this uni project. Once I hit enter, and you see that this is our project that is created on desktop. Now we have to go inside this folder, and you can see that we have an inner project folder and manage.py. We can do this in two methods. One is here, from here, cd uni project, and now you can see that I'm inside uni project, and inside this I can list it here that I have a folder by the name of uni project. It is a folder or a directory, and a file manage.py. To do that one, we simply write dir and hit enter, and you can see that we have a manage.py and uni project, and this is a directory and this is a file that is .py. The second easiest method for those who are new to Django and want to continue Django as their first course, so that therefore you just open this one, and here type here cmd and hit enter, and you can see that cmd is open exactly in this directory uni project. Now inside this one I can run this application, this file, and create our project. And as I mentioned earlier, and you can just go back and watch the video again, and the command for creating project is python manage.py start app, and I will call this a registration app, and enter. And you can see that there is another folder created by the name of registration app. In fact, this is the application inside Python project. This is a project, Python project, and this is Python application. The next thing is here that I must install or add this application inside my project. Inside my project, I can call this installing project application in project, or I can say adding application into Django project. To do that one, we go to this inner project folder, and inside that we open the settings.py. So let's do that. I'll do one thing. I'll open my Notepad++, or this is a code, this is a text editor, or you can open any code editor like Visual Studio, Atom, PyCharm, and so on. In this video, I'll just open the Notepad++, and in Notepad++, we will see how it is done. To do that one, we just click on Notepad++. I have already installed. So here, I'll just go to Files and Open Containing Folder. I'll click on this one. I'll open Folder as Workplace. And in this one, I go to Desktop. On Desktop, I have a file, I have a project, uni project, and I'll just hit OK. And you can see that my project is opened here. And you can see that inside this one, just let me click on these two. Okay. And you can see that this is my whole project. Inside this whole project, I have one inner project folder exactly with the same name, uni project and uni project. But this one, registration app, this is my application. Now what I have to do is that I install or add this application inside this settings.py. I open settings.py. Inside settings.py, I have one variable that is installed_apps. It's a list type. Inside this one, I'll add. Of course, there are some pre-installed applications, but what I have to do that I just add here a registration application. That's it. And this is the closing of our list. Then we have successfully installed our application inside our project. To do that one, let me open this file, and inside this file, if you come down, guys, I'll talk about all these pre-written codes in details. Once we talk about hosts, we talk about middlewares, we talk about root, we talk about templates, we talk about Vesgi application and so on, databases, and so what code is written here, what codes are written here, I'll talk about later. But for now, we are talking about this code snippet. This code snippet talks about the applications that are installed or in our Django application project. So these are the predefined or pre-created applications. We'll talk about admin panel, we'll talk about authorization, content types, sessions, messages, static files, and all these things we'll talk. These are all created and they are added here. So now you can see here there's a comma, and now I can hit enter and single quote, and I write registration app, and using comma for the last one is optional. So here you can see that I have registered or added this application inside my project. Inside which variable? In installed apps. Now, in fact, our application is installed or added into our project. In case we have other projects here, in case we have other applications here, then we can add them here as well. Inside application, if you note down, you can see that we have a model, we have a view, and there's another I've talked in first video, that is MVT, model view template. We have model, we have view, and there's no template here. We will create template, HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript files, all will be added there. But for now, you can see that the model file is here and the view file is here. This model, view, and once we create our template folder here, or template directory, then that is our MVT, model view template. In every application, we will have this one. Now let me create another application as well. To create another application, once again I go here and I type python manage.py start app. For example, this time I'll create a project by the name of application by the name of results. Hit enter and you can see that this one we added here, and come here and you can see that our result application is also added here. So I have the same thing that I have in my registration application, and you can cross-verify them. Now, because I have two applications, now I can add my second application as well. I have added this application here, and now I can add or install this application as well. So to do that one, inside which file? Inside settings, I'll just write here single quote results and close single quote, and because it is the last one, using comma is optional, but it is a best practice to add comma always, whether it is your last or middle. So I'll save this one and let me run the server. How to run the server? I talked in previous video that you have to be in the location where your manage.py file is, because you are running manage.py file. So that manage.py file is inside my project folder. Not inner project folder. That's inside project. So I'm exactly in that location and I'll run that one. How? Python manage.py run server and hit enter. If the URL and port number is given, this means that your application is installed successfully into project. But in case you have done a mistake inside your code, or you have some issue with your code or any error, then it will be popped up here or will be showed here. Let me do one thing. I'll just copy this one. To copy this one, just select and hit enter. because you can see that here in copy section, the shortcut for that one is enter. So copy, select this one and hit enter from keyboard. Now open your browser, paste it, hit enter, and you can see it is installed successfully. In case you have a problem with inside your code, for example, there is a mistake in my code. I have not added this comma. And I save the file, and let's refresh and let's see this one, and you can see that there is error on my CMD. And if you go through this one, it has clearly written that you have missed a comma inside your file. So settings.py when changed and loaded, watching for file changes with start reload, exception in thread Django main thread, and you can read the complete error where you can find it. So it is written clearly that module not found error and no module named registration. So here is the problem, and you can find the problem there. So let me add that one back, and if you hit enter as well, and you can see that this one will come. This is because server is not running. So for that one, again, I'll put a comma here and save the file, save, and once again, I'll Control C, stop the server, and you can see that it is running again. It is working fine. Copy, paste, hit enter, and you can see that it is not. So in this video, we talked about how to create an application and how to add or install application or applications inside our project. So this is enough for this session, and see you in next video. Till that, please like and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next video. Bye.